Hello my dear friends and welcome back to my channel. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today's video I have some books that we're going to be talking about. I have like 22, 23, somewhere in there about... these are books that are releasing in 2025 that I am extremely excited about. So all of these books are on a tentative TBR. Some of them I'm more excited about than others, but yeah, here are the books coming out in 2025 that I'm super excited about. So we're gonna, because this video is coming out at the end of January, we're gonna just like not mention the January, except for one. We're gonna mention one January book, and it's actually a book that comes out tomorrow of when this video is posted. So that book is A Lady Would Know Better by Emma Theriault. This is a debut author. This is her first historical romance. I believe this is her first book in general, and this one sounds super fun. I actually found out about this book from Threads. I saw the author posting about it, and she was kind of, when I saw this book, when it first got on my radar, I think she was talking about how she didn't see it on anticipated releases videos, but it's on mine. I'm a little late to the party, but it's on mine. So this is... basically, all that I know about this is really the opening sequence where we have our hero who is in his estate. He is out on his estate. It's snowing. He sees a young woman collapsed in the snow unconscious, and she's talking about "don't let them get me," kind of like muttering in her unconsciousness. So that's how it begins, and I'm super intrigued with that. So I'm very, very, very hopeful and very excited about this one, and I love seeing that we have a new historical romance author. So the next one comes out February 4th. This is A Tropical Rebel Gets the Duke by Adriana Herera. I've really enjoyed Adriana Herrera's books that I've read before. I only read the first in the series. I need to get caught up, but I really liked it, and I think this one is going to be good as well. She's a really solid author. The next one comes out February 11th. This one is First Time Caller by B.K. Borrison. I've read B.K. Borrison before. I've liked her books. So far I haven't found any of hers that I've like deeply, deeply loved. But this one I am very excited about because it says that it's kind of like inspired by When Harry Met Sally, which isn't really one of my favorite rom-coms. It was a little bit before my time, but I still, like, I love that whole concept. I love that era of rom-com movies, and I don't know how much that inspiration goes into this book, but a friend from TikTok was telling me that she got an arc and read this and absolutely loved it, and she was like, put this on your radar. So it's on here, and I'm very excited about it. Okay, the next one is, of course, Wild Side by Elsie Silver. I have really enjoyed this series. I really enjoyed books 1, book 2 I liked even better, and I'm super hyped about this one. So this one comes out in March. When I looked on Goodreads, there wasn't a specific date, but I'm sure we'll be hearing about that soon. Very excited about this small town romance. I love this series. I think it's super fun. Okay, the next one is one that I do have an arc for that I need to get to. It's Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jiminez. Abby Jiminez is such a fabulous author. I think that most, especially her newer books, starting with Part of Your World, I've loved pretty much every single one of them. So I'm very excited about this one. I really like the cover. She's fantastic. This one to me feels like a sure thing, you know? This one feels like a sure thing. The Elsie Silver, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like, and even the next few are probably sure things for me. They're from big time authors, right? So the next one is King of Envy by Ana Huang. I love this series. This is my favorite Ana Huang series. Ana Huang is one of my favorite authors. I just love how she writes romances. I think they're fantastic, so fun, so engaging, so gripping. I'm so hyped for this one, and I love the whole idea of King of Envy. I think it's gonna be good. I hope we get a jealous hero. Like, I really, really do. So that one comes out April 29th. Okay, the next one is Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. If you're new here, Kennedy Ryan is my favorite author. She is fantastic. I have done so many videos dedicated to her. Long time ago, I have a guide to Kennedy Ryan books. I interviewed her on my channel. She's fantastic. I really love this series. I think that she is truly an exceptionally gifted author, and I love her book, so I'm sure I will love this one as well. This one is part of her series, and this one follows Hendrix, who I just can't wait to hear about her romance. So this one comes out May 13th, which is the day before my birthday. Okay, the next one is Rewind It Back by Liz Tomforde. I love Liz Tomforde's books. I think that they're really great and really fun. Again, this is an author who is usually a sure thing for me. Some of her books I've rated like 3-ish stars or less. I haven't truly loved all of them, but she has also written some of my favorite romances ever, so I'm excited. This next one is from an author that I also really enjoy, and it is Left of Forever by Tara DeWitt. This comes out May 20th, and I love the cover on this. I have loved seeing little quotes and bits and pieces of this. It sounds like it's going to be very romantic, and I feel like, I don't know if this is actually true or if the illustration is making me think that this is like a Charlie Swan type of character. I don't know if he is a little bit older or whatever. I really don't know much about this other than I love the cover. I've been hearing this author talk about it, and I'm hyped for it, so. Okay, this next one I am excited about, but I'm also a little tiny nervous. So this is a new series by Mimi Matthews, Rules for Ruin. This comes out May 20th. I have really enjoyed Mimi Matthews' books. Again, this is an author who has written some of my favorite romances ever, but then there are other of her books that have kind of missed the mark for me. So I'm really curious to know what happens here. This does sound like it has a big emphasis on sort of like women fighting the patriarchy and them teaming up with some men who are also kind of helping them there, so I'm curious to see how that works in here. I mean, that's something that she typically will do, and she did that in her previous series, the, I don't remember what it was called, the Victorian something, The Belle of Belgrave Square. I've got the book right here. I can't remember what that series is called. But, you know, that's also not an uncommon theme in historical romance, but I am really interested to see and what I think about this one. We'll see. Comes out May 20th. Okay, this next one is a new to me author, and I believe this is her debut. This is A Fate Forged in Fire by Hazel McBride. So this is a fantasy romance book. I don't know much about this at all, and I'm going to be real honest with you. I pretty much only am interested in this book because I was sent an email from NetGalley. They're saying, hey, would you like to review this? And so I do have an ARC copy. But then I've seen the author herself on social media where she has kind of gotten a little bit of virality and fame for what people say that her husband is better looking than her, and I think that that is kind of gross and disgusting behavior for anybody to say, specifically about a couple who are in love. So I kind of got pissed off on her behalf that people were coming after her and actually having the audacity to say that to her. Like, who does that? Do we not have manners anymore? Like, come on. So I haven't read the book. I don't know anything about it, but I really hope I love it because I want to go hard for her because that's just unacceptable behavior. Like, let's be for real, okay? Does anybody say that to men when a loser of a guy has a super hot girl? Not really. Anyway, sorry for that tangent. Let's move right along. Okay, this next one, also A Fate Forged in Fire, comes out May 27th. So this next one is another historical romance. This comes out June 24th. It is Eliza and the Duke by Harper St. George. So this is the second book in her new series. I just barely read in December the first book in the series, and I didn't love it. But I will say, in her previous series, the Gilded Heiresses, I don't remember what that series was. In the previous series, the first book was by far the weakest for me. So I do know that sadly her contract was not renewed for more historical romances, so this may be the last book that we get from her. And I am going to pre-order it, and I am going to read it, and I'm so hopeful that I'm going to love it. I honestly, when I was looking for anticipated releases, there were very few historical romances on here that I could find. Some haven't been released, like the last one on my list that I'm just going to go ahead and mention now. I do know that Julianne Long is under contract for another book in the Palace of Rogues series, so I'm super excited about that. There is no title, there is no nothing about it, so I don't know that that's coming out this year, which is okay, because last year we got 2 from her. But I don't know if Lorraine Heath has a new book coming out. I know that she also had 2 books last year, so I don't know. I don't know who of the big dogs are going to be on here. I did, however, see that Loretta Chase did recently have a book come out. I didn't include it on here because it already came out, but it is a book that I definitely want to read. Really beautiful cover, so thrilled to see a book coming from Loretta Chase. Anyway, there weren't a ton of historical romance books to be excited about coming out this year, sadly. But this is definitely one of them, so I'm really, really hopeful that I love this book. Okay, the next one is one that I also have an ARC for, and it is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. V.E. Schwab is one of my favorite authors. I friggin' love and adore her. This comes out June 10th. This is sapphic fantasy, dark fantasy with vampires. Thrilled. Can't wait to read this one. Okay, and then the next one, so the next 2 are interesting because I really haven't dove into the world of fan fiction. I have a goal to read, I do have some of them saved on my Kindle before they were pulled, because there are 3 on my list that were fan fiction that have been changed and are going to be traditionally published this year, and I'm interested in all 3 of the ones that I know of. So I have not read the fan fiction that these books are based on. I am interested in them. We'll see. We'll see how I go. I don't know that I will get to both the fan fiction and the traditional for these 2, but I definitely want to do that with the one I'm going to mention later, which you probably know what I'm talking about. Okay, so the first one is Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. So this comes out July 3rd. This is a Hermione fanfic, basically, that is from the author who wrote The Auction, which I don't really know anything about other than I've heard it's a great Hermione fanfic. So it's obviously been changed a little so that it can be published traditionally, but I am very interested in this traditionally published book. I'm probably going to read this first, honestly. And the other one is The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Brigitte Knightley. So this one comes out July 8th. This is another Hermione fanfiction, and this one I believe is based on the mortifying ordeal of falling in love or something like that. That one, you know what I'm talking about. I do actually have that on my Kindle, and I do want to get to that. Will I get to it before this book is published? I hope so. We'll see. We'll see. So those are 2 books that I am very interested in, because these are 2 that I know for sure. Like, you know, it's not uncommon for books to begin as fan fiction and then make their way to traditional publishing. Like, that's happened a lot before. But I feel like it's interesting that we have 3 this year that are Hermione fanfic. So I'm very intrigued to see what the hype and what the buzz is with these ones for sure. Okay, the next one is a book that, okay, so The Irresistible Urge comes out July 8th. Sorry if I didn't say that. If I did, also sorry. The next book I'm interested in is These Summer Storms by Sarah MacLean. This is a contemporary fiction. This is not technically a romance, but I have heard her say that this definitely has romance in it. So I've also heard her say that if she's including romance, it's going to have an HEA. But I also feel like this is more about like a family saga rather than just strictly for the romance. So I have an arc of this one. I just got it and I'm very excited about it, but also a little nervous. So instead of getting a historical from Sarah MacLean, we're getting this. So I am disappointed, but I'm going to read it anyway. That comes out July 8th as well. Okay, so now this book I am literally so freaking excited for. I cannot wait. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for this book to come out from the moment I saw the cover reveal, because the cover is so stunning. It is Give Me a Reason by Jayci Lee. So Jayci Lee has written a lot of books, actually, and one of her books was the first Harlequin imprint book to be published that had an Asian couple on the cover, which I think is a pretty big deal, and I think that is very, very cool. So this book, Give Me a Reason, is essentially about 2 people who fell in love, and it sounds almost a little bit like, and again, the magic type of situation, where she kind of had to break his heart a little bit and let him go, because she had to go and do something else, and so he's kind of had some anger and hurt feelings towards her for all these years because she broke his heart and they were so deeply in love, but she did it for what she believed were like good reasons for him, and like I am such a sucker for that plot line. And they end up coming back and meeting together again when they are being in the same wedding party. So she's like a bridesmaid. I couldn't think of the word, and he's like a groomsman or something. So I am so excited about that one. It has truly a gorgeous cover. I just can't wait. That one comes out July 29th. Okay, this next one is another historical romance that is very exciting. This is Gabriella and His Grace by Liana de la Rosa. I haven't read this series yet. I want to get caught up on it, and I want to support this author because I also believe that her contract is done. So no more traditionally published historical romances from her as well, which is absolutely heartbreaking. This one comes out August 26th. Very excited for that. And plenty of time to get caught up, right? Okay, the next one is Alchemised by SenLin Yiu, who wrote the infamous Manacled fanfiction. Manacled is a book, a fanfiction that I've been hearing about for years. I think the first person I heard about that talked and raved about this was Jen from the Book Refuge that I heard, and I sort of feel like that kind of ignited a storm on BookTube of other people reading it. I tried to read it back then, but sheer volume of this book, the page count really made me feel like this is impossible. I don't know if I'll get to it. And I know there was an audiobook. I believe it is, parts of it are still up. But I have Manacled on my Kindle. I've been reading it for a while, and that is one of my major goals, is to finish Manacled before Alchemised comes out, because I really, really, really want to see what the hype is with Manacled before I read that book. Before that book even comes out. So that one comes out September 30th, I believe. Very excited about that one. Okay, the next book I am so excited about is The Ballad of Falling Dragons. This is book 2 in the When the Moon Hatched series. I love that fantasy romance. This one comes out October 7th. The next book that comes out in October that doesn't have a date yet is The Defender by Ana Huang. I really love The Striker. Again, I love Ana Huang. If she writes it, I'm gonna read it, no matter what it is. Very thrilled for that one. And then, yeah, the last book that I have on my list is just Julianne Long, ? I kind of have a feeling it probably won't be this year. I think we may have heard about it, at least have had a cover and a title. I think from what it sounded like on social media, it sounded like she maybe hasn't even written it yet, that she just got her contract renewed for another book. So I'm so happy about that, and whenever that's released, I'm gonna read it. So it might not be this year, but at least we know we have one more coming, so. Alright, my friends, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you have made it this far and you want to leave me an emoji and let me know that you were here, please feel free to leave me any type of a dog emoji, and let me know what book you are most excited about reading in 2025. And I will see y'all in my next video.